So I've been seeing a lot of nonsense on the news lately, um, specifically on sites like TikTok, which are, of course, Chinese influenced. Um, Talking about, oh my gosh, Trump committed war. He's declared war on Iran, and now they're going to come back and retaliate and kill us all. And I've seen a lot of hysteria and panic, and it doesn't need to be there, folks. It doesn't need to be there. Iran was hit very hard by our bombing. We took out the majority, not all of it. We didn't hit all their nuclear bases, but we hit the majority of it, probably knocked them back 10 years in their ability to be able to create a nuclear bomb. The sites that were hit were vacant at the time. We had given them lots of advance notice. They knew we were coming. They removed all of the personnel, but of course they couldn't remove all the equipment and the buildings, the structures, the infrastructure. And that is what was destroyed. There was some specific targeting to some of the nuclear scientists and that kind of stuff, which of course you need to do. Cut the head off the snake. And that was it. We didn't attack the Iranian people. We attacked the crazy, whacked out people that are terrorizing the world and terrorizing the Iranian people, for that matter. All of this stuff going on, the Houthis, people, Israel, Hamas, all these people fighting everybody else, the instigators, the terrorists, all of them have roots back to the people in Iran. So what's happening now, and people don't seem to realize, is the Iranian people are celebrating America. They are thrilled. They want to go back to the way things were prior to 1979. Now, I can tell you firsthand, having been there myself, that's right. I actually graduated high school in Bahrain, a small island in the Persian Gulf, right across the water from Iran. I have lots of friends from Iran. I have been to Iran, to Tehran, and to some of the ancient sites. My mom was a big fan of visiting some of the ancient sites. So I know that in 1977, specifically, 76, 77, Iran was as modern a culture as any in the world. The women were driving, they were going to school, raising their families, they had all the freedoms that we have. There was, aside from the incredible heat and the fact that everything outside was sand, it was a growing, thriving community that did not sponsor terrorism on a state level like they do now. And so by taking out their nuclear capabilities, we've made the entire world safer. Now, you're going to find it hard on mainstream media to find the clips, but if you look, you'll find them. People in Saudi Arabia are celebrating America because they were being attacked as well. People in Qatar, people in Kuwait, people in Syria. Syrians are celebrating America right now. Most importantly, though, the Iranian people. And I think what we've done is initiated a big enough strike, along with what Israel's doing, to have sponsored them or motivated them to retake their country, to have their own regime change. In fact, I know the Crown Prince, the exiled Crown Prince of Iran, is talking quite a storm right now about being able to return and get back into power and restore Iran back to its economic health that it had in the past. But let's listen to this Homeland Security National Terrorism Bulletin, shall we?
U.S. issues a National Terrorism Advisory System bulletin warning of attacks by Iranian and pro-Iranian actors. Explain to me kind of the situation that is unfolding and why it's so important for this to be issued to folks out there?
Absolutely. So, of course, the United States very famously joined in this attack on Iran's nuclear program, Operation Midnight Hammer. I think that's a great name, by the way, and therefore significantly increasing the chance that Iran, most likely Iran's proxies, are going to try to retaliate against the United States directly or indirectly, and against the United States citizens' interests, embassies, or any kind of institution or individual or entity that's connected to the United States. That's really their MO. Since the beginning, and in any kind of conflict with the Iranians, they first of all, they go for soft targets, civilian targets. I mean, they've been firing at my country almost exclusively at civilian targets since the beginning of this conflict. In the previous rounds of fighting and through their proxy since October 7th, they have fired tens of thousands of projectiles, almost entirely at civilian targets in this country. That's their MO. Their MO is terrorism. Their MO is going after civilians. And frankly, because of Israel's operations in last October, April, and then in the week preceding the American entrance into this, Iran's military capabilities have been downgraded so much that this and maybe mining the Straits of Hormuz, which they threatened that they're actually going to do today, and they might actually do it to shut down the Straits of Hormuz. This is about as much as they can do.
Let me interrupt here real quick. Mining the Straits of Hormuz. Okay, so you have the Persian Gulf. There's this little narrow area that all the boat traffic has to fit through, and it's all the way over next to the coast of Iran. They do have, I believe, the largest of their naval bases very close to that. I also want to remind people, maybe, I don't know, 6 months, a year ago or so, we had a little kerfuffle with Iran's Navy, and in a matter of a few hours, we decimated their naval capabilities. Something that we can easily do again. I mean, all of their boats combined doesn't equate to one of our fleets. They don't have aircraft carriers. They don't have major destroyers. They have very small, old technology boats that, yes, they can create some damage, but they're not really a naval power. So if they're going to go try to mine the Hormuz, then I'm sure we'll destroy them. I mean, it's just that simple. As will China, because China is highly dependent on the Straits of Hormuz. That's how their oil gets to them. Their oil comes from Saudi Arabia through the Straits of Hormuz and out around into Chinese waters. So, yeah, they'll want that very well defended as well. So it'll be interesting to see how that develops. But I'm not worried about retribution by Iranians. Now, I know under Biden there was a whole lot of people snuck into our country. A lot of them are, in fact, military-age men. We know that for a fact. Those are a lot of the gotaways and stuff. And they may have sleeper cells here in America, and they might try to do some domestic terrorism. I'll remind the rest of America, especially all these bleeding heart liberal whiners out there, the majority of us are tough old bastards who carry guns. With our own military experience, not myself personally, I'm not military, but I do have lots of firearms training. In fact, I used to be a firearm instructor. So, yeah, I'm not, people aren't going to come down the street here in Lancaster, Ohio, and be trying to start anything, because it'll end quite quickly. I'm not that different than the majority of the conservative men in America. And I can tell you right now where I'm sitting, I'm within 10 feet of a dozen guns, just sitting here talking to you on the phone or on the computer. So, yeah, I'm not overly worried about it. So let's go ahead and listen to the rest of this. And you shouldn't be worried about it either. They're going to attack some of our bases, some of the ones close, Bahrain, Qatar. They may try to send a missile or two at those bases. It's not going to be sufficient. In fact, I understand they've already tried attacking our air base in Qatar, and nobody was hurt. So,
in addition to lobbing, the occasional missile at a U.S. base or at an embassy. So we have to be on the lookout now. American embassies, American bases, American personnel, American citizens need to be careful around the Middle East. And unfortunately, sometimes this is the short-term price that needs to be paid for the long-term and medium-term benefits of taking out the most dangerous weapon from the most dangerous regime in the world.
Yep. There you go. And that's very true. I mean, that's kind of just where this whole thing is at. I don't expect much in the way of retribution from Iran. I just don't think they have the capability. They're sending a whole bunch of missiles at Israel at this point. Israel is continuing to take out Iran's missile sites. So you're going to see that become less and less and less and less until at some point the Iranian people are going to find out that their leaders are feckless and unprotected, and then they'll take over their own country again. I'm pretty confident about that. Mark my words, that's what I'm saying is going to happen. Let's see how much truth comes of it with time. I hope you enjoyed my little video here. Give it a thumbs up, like and subscribe, ring ding ding the bell, and subscribe. I really need people to subscribe. Got to build this up. Thanks for listening, friends.